everyone, my name is Glenda with SureFit Designs, whimsically known as Glenda the Good Stitch. In this video I'm going to talk about the V-neck because so oftentimes when wearing a V-neck you can get a gap in that V-neck, and that happens because the V-neck is on the bias. And it can happen whether or not you're working with a dartless pattern or a pattern with a dart. So I'm going to show you on both types of patterns how to remove that gap that can happen at the V-neck. So we're going to take a look at the dartless pattern first of all, and I will be using the SureFit Designs shirt kit shirt front. And so I've drawn a V-neck in here, and one other thing I should mention is that I've drawn this without seam allowances. At the end of making this modification, remember that you need to add seam allowances. So there's the V-neck, and I'm going to draw a line from approximately the middle of the V-neck, and I'm going to take that line from the V over to the armscye, just like this. And then we're going to say that the gap is about a ½ inch that you're seeing, which means that on either side of this green line, I'm going to make a ½ inch mark like that, and that's how much I need to remove here, but not here. So that means that I need to put a little piece of tape at the armscye, and that's going to become a pivotal point. So now I'm going to cut right here on the tracing vellum, and then I'm going to cut this way and hope that I didn't cut my pivot point, and I'm going to cut all the way through the V-neck at the front and lift that up. And now what I'm going to do is simply pivot, and I might need to nip that a little bit more. I did it with the rotary cutter and I don't always get as close as I like to that pivot point. That should work. Now I've got a better hinge right here. And so now I'm going to take that ½ inch mark and put it on this ½ inch mark, and that automatically removes ½ inch in the V-neck. So now I will tape this closed like this. It's automatically fixed that gap, and now all I need to do is true the V-neck. Now I like to do a V-neck with a slight curve, and that's how I drew it, and you can do that with this edge on the designing stylus. So I'm just going to take the 0 number on the stylus and put it back in position like this, and I will take this green pen and show you what this trued neckline looks like. And there it is. So it fills it in a little bit, trues it up, and removes the amount of space that was gapping open. Remember, add the 5/8 inch seam allowances next. Now I'm going to show you how to do it if your pattern has a dart, like the dress kit bodice does. So here we have a darted bodice, and again I've drawn that slightly curved line, the V-neck, with the designing stylus like this. And now what I'm going to do is take this, that gap. Well, before I do anything with it, what I'm going to do is draw my line. And I need a cutting line that's going from the middle of the neckline down to the apex this time, because now I'm going to remove that ½ inch of space, and I'm going to remove it in the bust fitting dart rather than in the armhole. So there's that first line drawn, and then what I'm going to do is draw the designer's dart up to the apex like this, because that red dart there, that's called the dressmaker's dart. That's the one you sew out, and the green dart here is the designer's dart. Now the apex is going to become a pivotal point, so I'm going to just put a piece of tape over top like this. There actually is one more line that I need to draw, and that's going from the apex through to the center of the dart, like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is mark my ½ inch markings on this side and on this side of the green line, and I'm now going to cut from the apex through the center of the dart like that, and I'm going to cut up on this green line going into the neckline, and I'll just take it all the way through the tracing vellum, and that pivot point is pretty good right there. So now what you'll do is just simply pivot that 1/2 inch closed right here. I'm going to line those 2 green markings up and let it lay nice and flat, and then I'm going to tape it down well. And you can see what happened. As I closed it up in the neckline, it opened up in the bust fitting dart. So now I'm going to take a piece of tracing vellum and I'm going to shift it underneath like this. And now I can tape the dart down. So it makes your dart a little bit wider, and that's fine because you have to release the space somewhere. And now, first of all, what I will do is true up the neckline. And once again, I'm doing the slight curvature on the designing stylus like this, and that trues up the V-neck. And now we have to finish the dart. I've opened it up right here. And remember that your dart normally stops anywhere between, 1 inch to 1.5 inches back from your apex. So you can measure that if you want to. I sometimes just eyeball it because I've done it so many times. And I'm going to put a green dot right there, and then that's going to be my new dart stitching tip. And these new green lines right there will be the new dart structure. And there we have it. So that's how easy it is to remove and get rid of the gap that often happens in a V-neck. And please keep in mind that this is also a strip down pattern. So all that you're going to do now is take the designing stylus, and this is on either the shirt kit or the dress kit bodice, and you're going to draw through the slots that are provided on the designing stylus to add those 5/8 inch seam allowances. And of course, you're going to do that all the way around the pattern. Always remember, with SureFit Designs, you can design patterns that match your lifestyle and last a lifetime. Thanks so much for watching.